Yeah, boy. It would help if I didn't pull a hawk and mute myself. Yeah, it was on my Go XLR. I mute it when the music's going in case it feeds back. What's going on, guys? Automatic Beats here by Service. Is it Candroid? Is that it? And Nick, I see you in here, man. What's going on, guys? What's up? And I don't know how to pronounce your name, but I see calm at the end of it. So what's going on, man? We're gonna wait for a few people because I know DJ's streaming right now. I was just kind of popping in and out of his stream there for a little bit. I figured maybe we could do some testing today about Fluxcore, right? And how much does the actual memory matter? Now, this is once again just to clarify. This is in an alpha stage. This is not like fully released, so I'm sure the benchmarking is going to change. The use of the RAM is going to change, but I just kind of want to see, like, why don't we do like a comparison like now and get it on a spreadsheet, right? And this way, when they do a new iteration, right, or another benchmark, or they do another release, right, we could retest this again and see if any of this changes, right? This way we can kind of see exactly how does the memory affect our benchmarking score, right? And this way we can watch it, at every iteration of their development, right? So I expect memory eventually will play a pretty big role because the proof of useful work isn't live right now and all that stuff. So, and I think most of the benchmarking is pretty much GPU bound. So we'll see what it plays off with though. But let me share my screen here. And I'll wait a few more minutes for people. I know DJ's streaming. Let's see here. Allow. There we go. Yeah, and if you guys missed it, and if you're a Kingsman, I gave away my Ellie Pal today, and that went to Nate G, who's a member, and then Automatic Beats. He won a 12-pack of Riser Shields. So once again, congratulations to those guys who won the giveaway for the members, man. Thanks. Appreciate you guys being members and supporting the channel. So I guess let's at least look at this part though. Every time you come in here though, and you're in here running this, when you come over here, you want to come. Oh, it's gonna make me do my freaking 2-factor. Oh man. Hold on. I've been logged out too long. Yelling at me now. Why? Oh. Yeah. Here. Come on. Oh, now it changed already too fast. I'm being slow. Okay. There we go. 2 factors back in. Okay. So anytime you're making hardware changes, you're going to want to, when you come back in, you're going to want to hit this rescan button. I have noticed that sometimes this will automatically pick it up, but I just do a rescan anyways because I find that the test results get a little skewed. So I always just, rescan the hardware. So which is nice, right? I'm going to say as a vast user, this is way easier to upgrade a GPU, upgrade, your hard drive, upgrade the RAM, right? You could just rescan the hardware with one click of a button. It is not that easy and vast. So thank you, Flux team, for this. Really do like that you could just upgrade things and we just rescan the hardware and we're good to go. So I definitely like that. Oh man, KiiNG, hello. Hey KiiNG, didn't know you were streaming. Oh yeah, hey man. Oh, what's up, Panda? What's going on, man? Yeah, I know. It doesn't notify people for me. I'm a lowbie. So what's going on, Panda? And Hawk, you have one letter for every line. Music. No music, Hawk. I'm not doing it. You could deal with the blank, quiet tranquility in between the words I speak. All right. Oh man. So yeah, let's go ahead and let's test. Okay, and why why did it lose connection? It says you may be on Wi-Fi. I am not on Wi-Fi, but okay. So let's go ahead and we're going to let's get a benchmark going here. So, well, I guess let's go over what I have in here so far. So the amount of RAM I have 256 gigs to start with. So we're just gonna that's what I left it at. We'll just start at the top. And we're not gonna just take out one stick at a time. I'm gonna do like 256, 128, 64, 32, so forth. I'm not gonna do like one stick at a time because I'd literally be here forever. So we'll do it in increments. So let's go ahead and we're going to do 3 tests. And this way we can kind of get an average of the tests. You know what I mean? So we're not just going to do it once. We're going to do it 3 times. So let's go ahead and let's get a benchmark going. And hopefully it's not broken. Sometimes it doesn't like me. And usually it doesn't do this. Reload the page and see what's happening here. Uh-oh. Maybe I broke it. Maybe I did break it. Did a control F5. I'm gonna laugh if I broke this on the first benchmark. Nope, there it goes. Yes. Did break. All right. Did not break it. Get wrecked. Man, my wife and kids are like watching like all different TVs and shit, dude, and I'm streaming, so my internet is probably just getting destroyed right now. Yeah, 260 and 109. I'm getting obliterated. I need to put my computer in my studio on my other WAN so I don't share it with anyone else. That's gonna be the new plan. Have you set up multiple rigs on the same VLAN and manage from one machine yet? I have everything on VLANs in my house, and then I could talk to them, but they can't talk back to me. And I don't care if the wife and kids' computers get wrecked. That's their own fault. So I care about me. If they download something they're not supposed to be doing and their computer gets wrecked, that's their stuff. I make sure that my computer is super safe. But yeah, everything's all VLANder off here. Yeah, that's right. See, look, that's exactly right, Hawk. Do you know what kids download when you just give them the internet? Okay, I mean, you were a young man one time. Okay, my oldest is just turned 13. You're just like clicking on weird shit. All right, okay. I'm not being held responsible for that. Okay. Have you set up multiple proof of useful work rigs and can manage them from a single dashboard? No, I have not done that yet. Oh, Geek, you're so funny, man. So funny. I mean, have you set up Fluxcore so you can set up multiple proof of use and can manage them from a single dashboard? Not that I know of. The only way I know how to do it is you have to set them with this machine ID and use the IP that way. But no, I haven't set up multiple. I just have this one rig here. To me, it's not. I'm not trying to put anybody down on the Flux team, okay? But like, look, this is a great product. I'm having fun benchmarking, doing my thing, okay? But I'm not building multiple rigs to do nothing. I'm sorry. they're going to be on vast until this becomes like a real solution. I'll use this machine as a test machine for like CPUs and RAM and all that other stuff. But yeah, I'm not building a bunch of machines just to benchmark stuff. Free RAM. Yeah, you remember that? Yeah, hereby service. Yeah, you can click on things and get free RAM. But yeah, so it looks like we're on an AI benchmark right now. So this is the benchmark that usually takes the longest. So it's going to be tough to get through 3 benchmarks. I think they're like 10 minutes long, right? Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be able to do 3. Maybe we'll just do 1. If we do 3 of each, it's like 30 minutes of testing each one. So that means we'd be here for like a day, like 8 hours. So maybe I'll just do 1 and just try to hurry him out. Oh wow, a KiiNG live stream. Get out of here, Second CL. I was live with my members today. Okay, you get off my back. All right, you get off my back. So we're gonna, dude. There's been some pretty impressive benchmarks though. These guys have been crushing it with their 4090s. I'm not 7th anymore. I'm like 100th. So definitely some bigger dogs here. But we can watch. We can go ahead and see how some of the resources are being used. It's kind of nice that they have this really nice dashboard. You can see all the different kinds of use cases. I would wish this temperature right here would also show memory temperature. The memory temperature would be nice, especially for like 3080s and 3090s and 4090s, right? Maybe you're thermal throttling on the memory. Hey, where's my ranch? I feel left out. Womp womp. Oh man, that means I have to go to my freaking actual stream here because I don't think you can give wrenches in StreamYard, right? No, they don't let you do that. They don't let you do that. Okay. Wait, man. Everybody's got a wrench in here. Everyone's got a wrench. Hey, Mr. TVM, what is going on, man? Mr. TVM. Hey, aren't you supposed to be sleeping so you can wake up early and make that big order of cables that a certain particular hosting company put through for you? All right, where's my cables, Dave? Oh, man. Oh, hey, what's tuning in from Quebec? What's going on, man? What do we get for the highest score? Right now, as of right now, you get nothing other than bragging rights. It's a 3080, not a 3090. I have a 3080 in the box right here, as you can see right here. This is a 3080 Founders Edition. I don't like their fan curve though. It's pretty weak. See, it's only at 40%. Look, it's getting a little warm. Might have to do the old vast tools and set the more aggressive fan profile, right? Because you can't actually set the fan curve for the GPU yet. D-Base, love your videos and stopping by to say hi, man. Hey, appreciate it, man. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate it. About to go to sleep. I have to support my friend. Oh man. So she's still testing, it looks like. Looks like we probably got like another 2 to 3 minutes left in our benchmark. Then we're gonna drop it down to 128, and then we're gonna see what the score is. I can't see that ish. I'm old as dude. It's on a 1080 screen. I mean, here. I mean, oops. Why did it do that? I was just trying to. Oh, maybe I broke it again. They don't like me here. I break things. I'm always breaking stuff. All I did was do the control plus sign to try to make it bigger so people could see it. I didn't like that. I'll try it one more time and hopefully it doesn't break. Okay. If you zoom in, it's going to kick you off the screen. So don't do that. Because, okay, all right. I didn't have to reload it at least. But yeah, 3080. How many cores on the CPU? I have a 20 E5 2698 V3, which is 16 cores and 32 threads. Try Alt F4. Yeah, you know, that was my next go-to, Geek. I definitely appreciate the tech advice. Okay, yeah. So the fan support this is just whatever it's doing in Linux. Now, I am gonna try the VAST tool trick where in VAST tools, they have a way to set the headless unit to do a fan curve. It's actually extremely hard to do these fan curves and overclocks in Linux. It's not easy at all. So I'm gonna try and use my VAST tool trick and see if I can set it. So this way it'll be a little more aggressive on the fan curve for the GPU. Almost had you got to be quicker. Yep, I'm getting old. I'm getting old a little bit. Got to be a little quicker than that. Oh, I guess I could go over the whole specs of the machine here. Okay, so right now 256 gigs in there. It's DDR4. It's 2133. I wish this stuff would populate, but I'm sure it will eventually come down the road. We have an E5 2698, 16 cores, 32 threads. We have an NVMe, which is weird. It says unknown, but if you go back to the other page, it recognizes that it's a Samsung Evo 970, which is a Gen 3 SSD. So the speed is around like 1 gig per second. So it's on the slower side compared to most of the NVMe's. And then we have a 3080. And it's weird it did a benchmark of my bandwidth up and down, but it doesn't report it here. And I'm on 22.04, and I'm on a Dell motherboard because I'm using a workstation. Getting old, you're an antique. Not even 40 yet. Get out of here. I think you're older than me, Goat. I'm only 37. All right. See, we're on the Blender benchmark, so we're almost done here. Blender is a pretty short benchmark. Uh, 2 terabyte. Yeah. See, yeah, you're like just like dust, just floating around everywhere right now, Goat. S Chang, it is a 2 terabyte NVMe, 2 terabyte. It's a Gen 3 though, Gen 3 NVMe, because this is an older workstation, so it does not have Gen 4 PCIe. And then TGig asks, why do you prefer NVMe's on the AI rigs? The reason that I go with the NVMe's is, number one, most people probably know this about me, but I buy them from Branding Coin, and they're dirt cheap and they're used. So I get like 2 terabyte NVMe's for like $40. So for me, it's really cheap to buy them, and I get to support a fellow content creator, right? Now, I typically like to do 2 terabytes per GPU, and then people can be like, "Wow, well, why do you want to do so much storage, King?" Well, per my vast experience, right? I have a lot of 1 terabyte drives on there, and I would say about 60 to 65% of them are almost all the way full. So I will, when those people get off, right, and new people come on, I am going to have to trim off the Docker images, right? because there's just been, I find that 1 terabyte, it starts to get pretty full pretty quickly, depending upon who comes on the machine, right? If it's a miner, it won't, but if it's somebody doing like, stable diffusion and stuff like that, yeah, they're going to be using your hard drive. I think a 2 terabyte is a good solution because it's kind of like a set it and forget it, right? I don't need to upgrade and I don't have to usually trim anything. Oh, for Brandon's? Yeah, let me get it real quick. I think it's what, BC, right? BC PC shop. Oh, I guess I could just, here, I'll copy it here. I'm using Edge over here because it seems to play nicer with their GUI. Firefox does not like the Flux GUI here. But yeah, this is Brandon's online store. And actually, I was thinking about actually getting one of these. He has this little combo deal right here where you can get a 2650 Xeon, 12 core, 24 thread Xeon, 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM. For what was it? What was it again? Look right here, $140. That's pretty cheap. And you can toss a cheap NVMe and a GPU in there. I mean, it's actually not that bad of a deal, really. Processor, RAM, and the motherboard. Kind of a cool thing. He sells lots of stuff though. So he has 3D prints, right? I know that I 3D print. I know Goat also 3D prints as well. So does Brandon. Looks like he does like more like usable things, like like RAM holders and stuff like that. I got some of those. Mine are a little bit different than his. Mine are, they have these points right here, and then hopefully I don't knock all this memory out of here. I've done that like several times. But on the bottom, you can see there's holes. So this way I could stack them on top of each other. You know what I mean? Like a little storage unit. So I like these ones. He has some AMD CPUs. I bought a 5900X from him, which is in that machine right there behind me. That's going to be my new CPU mining rig that I'm going to be putting on NiceHash. And then I also bought a 3700X from him. I don't know if he has any more SSDs though. Let's see if he does that. Oh, damn. Look at that, $42. I'm telling you, dude. Now, he does get Gen 4 and Gen 3 drives, right? He gets both. But he doesn't like pick them out for you. Like, I want all the Gen 4s, I don't want Gen 3s. He just gives you whatever, right? You get what you get. And last time I got 4, I got 2 of each. So it worked out for me. And like I said, the storage is so cheap. 2 terabyte NVMe for $40. I'm like, why wouldn't you use 2 terabytes? Why wouldn't you use it, right? And look, the 1 terabyte's $27, 500 gigs, $10. I'm sure. Oh, I'm sure the white mode is just killing people right now. I'm sorry. There's no dark mode on this either. Okay, our benchmark is finished though. So we got 3601 overall on the AI. AI interference, we did 1644. AI training, we did 19357. Blender, we did 16.9.4. And that's pretty much all we're going to be looking for in this, because the rest of them is just related to the disks, and that doesn't change, so it doesn't matter. So overall AI score is 36,001. Yeah, Brandon Coin stuff is cheap, man. I've been telling people all the time to go to a store, and so far everything I've ordered works. I've never had any issues with any of Brandon's stuff. Okay, we're going to 128 right now. Have to wait for the old workstation dinosaur. How much is shipping? Um, hold please. Let me see if I can find an invoice for Mr. Brandon. Sure, I got one somewhere. Isha, here we go. Order confirm. Okay, I bought a Asus Hyper Gen 4, which holds 4 NVMe's. That was $4 to ship to me. And then the 2 CPUs was another $4 to ship to me. And then the NVMe's was like another $4. So most of the stuff I order is also very small and doesn't weigh that much. So shipping shouldn't be that much. So I don't know, $5, maybe $10 to ship it, depending on what you order. He said he was going to make them stackable. Oh, legit. And you can just disregard this. I have to wait for the machine to boot, and I have to hit F1 because I did I made a change in the system, and it's like, hey, I don't like what you did. You took away some of my memory from me, so I have to hit F1 to get it to boot. And it's almost booted up. No, 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 not at all, man. His stuff is really cheap. Reload. There we go. Boom. So the first thing we obviously have to do is we need to rescan our hardware. Is this time, I don't think it picked up that we had less RAM. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. See, it still thought we had all of the DIMMs populated, but we don't. Right? So, there we go. Now it picked it up. So let's go ahead and go over to overview here, benchmark, and let's go ahead and start benchmarking again. Let's get this guy rolling. Now, another way, there's another way you could do that scan hardware is on this page here when you're first looking at your machines. And I did notice this, that look, it changed my name again. I keep changing this to KiiNG. So every time you reboot this thing, it is going to change the name. At least it does for me. I don't know why. But see, you could click rescan hardware right here. And then you can also run the benchmark from here. And then let's say there was an update that was pushed out. You could just come over here and click update client. So a couple nice little buttons. And then here is where you can see the last benchmarking scores. I got 36,001, put me at 107th. The AI training was 94th, 122, and 172 on the blender. Let's go back to this. And if you guys feel free to ask some questions here, I'm just throwing this out here. We're doing some memory testing here. So we're on 128 gigs now. We're going to see how much of this, does this change our score that much? Liking, I think it's a Linux thing. When I set my Windows and restarted, it stayed the same. Okay. Of course you have a question, Hawk. And no, Hawk, there's no music. Let the silence soothe you. Let the silence soothe you, Hawk. It's great. He's just going to keep complaining about the damn music. I'm just doing it to make him be quiet at this point. So boring. It's okay. My content is informational. I'm not an entertainer. If you want entertainment, you need to watch DJ. All right. I am not entertainment. I am for informational purposes. Okay, Hawk, look, I want you to pay attention to this. Look, there is no dark mode. They didn't give it to us yet. So there's nothing I can do about that. Silence, let your brain sing. Put some bagpipes on, that'll teach Hawk to ask for music. Oh man. Wear sunglasses, Hawk. So I mean, so far we're just now starting the AI benchmark. So I guess let's pay attention. Let's see how much the memory usage does go up. So far we're only at like at 1%. We were even less than that some of the time when we were running last time. I'm not using it till dark mode. Oh my god, dude, such a baby. I find there is a lot missing for something that is released. Okay, is it John? I'm sorry, I'm not gonna pronounce the rest of your name because I'm bad at names. Okay, this up, if you read up here in the upper left-hand corner, this is alpha. Very early release. This is like meant to get you familiar with the platform, to like kind of cruise around Fluxcore, kind of see some of the features that they're going to be adding and stuff like that. Just getting familiar with everything. This is not a working, like finished production piece of software yet. John is good. Okay. All right. John is good. Would it be Gene then? I'm sorry, man. I'm awful with names. I mean, we still haven't seen the actual RAM even spike up really at all yet. Oh, okay, it went up like 0.1%. 0.1. Hey, at least the mining works. Yeah, so you can mine on this, which is pretty legit. You have this nice mining section over here if you wanted to actually mine some coins, want to mine Ergo, you know, and some other stuff, you know what I mean? And then you can get some basic information from like what to mine. This isn't actually pulling the information live from the GPU, but like if you're like, I want to use my 3080 to mine Ergo and my electricity is 10 cents, what's my profit? Okay, you make no money. You make zero. You break even pretty much, right? So that's kind of what it is, right? So that's pretty cool that they have it. So it's like a little what to mine calculator inside of their platform. You know what I mean? So if you go over here to Iowa crypto mining, just do 0 because that's his rate. Look at that. See? Now you're profitable again. JF is also good. Oh, I figured it was French. I figured that it was a French name. But yeah, the mining works very well. I've tested it. I've mined some Ergo. So yeah, the mining works pretty good on it. But so far, I wanted to see how much memory is impacted on the overall system, right? So we have a 3080 in there. So we have 128 gigs of RAM. So it's about what 12 times what the amount of VRAM is inside of the unit. So we definitely have a lot more RAM than we do VRAM. I'd say it's probably a pretty healthy number. And yeah, I see Hawk is playing Civ now, which he said he hates that game. I see you playing Civ over there, Hawk. $30.80 tomorrow. Let's go. Oh, you're getting that $30.80 that you were talking about the other day, hobbyist? Decided to go get that thing. $30.80s are pretty good. I know everybody's been loving the 4090s for AI though. That's been like the talk of the town right there. Oh man, in your opinion, what is the best setup for 10K? Okay. If you're willing to go back to like the old mining rig days and use a mining frame, I would say a second gen Epic with ribbon risers and quad 4090s would be your best play for 10,000 bucks. That's if you can get the GPUs for cheap though. The GPU prices of 4090s have been going up, so you might be only get 3. I would say that a quad 4090 rig with a dual Epic would be your best bet for 10,000. And that should yield, I mean, on Vast, I mean, that would yield you pretty good amount in Vast. I mean, we can go to Vast AI real quick while that's doing its thing here. Let's see here. Let's go to, oh boy, that's really blown up. Let's see here, 4090. Then we want number of GPUs. We want 4. And I want the unavailable offers. Because unavailable means that they've been rented, right? So look at that, $1.72 an hour, $1.72, $1.60-ish, $1.92 on the high end. Yeah, $1.80, $1.79, 79. I mean $1.88. So probably I'm gonna say the median's gonna be like $1.75 an hour. So I mean that's pretty good. So we can figure that out real quick. If let's see here, what is $1.75 times 24 minus 25%. So that would be $31 a day, not including power. So you would make a total a month from the Vast, you'd make $1,000. But that's before including your power. So probably more in like the 750 range. You're probably looking at a year ROI on the quad 4090s. You can mine Traveler's Travels with AMD, but no, you cannot do the benchmarking. Hey, no problem, Kaiser. I think the 4090 is a very good for compute. The only thing that would be really comparable to it would be the new Ada Lovelace that just launched this fall, the A6000 Ada Lovelace, which is the newest generation, but that's like $7,000 for one GPU, but it has 48 gigs of VRAM. But it does use much less power than a 4090, but it's also way more expensive. I think the GPU is a little bit less than the 4090, so you get the VRAM, data center card. The other thing is too with data center cards, they depreciate quicker. So yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. So it looks like we're on the Blender test again. So let's go back to our benchmark here. Okay, so I know you're supposed to do like 3 tests to get like an average, but that would just take me way too long to do this live. So I might do that off camera and maybe do a video about that. It looks like we dropped roughly 800 points. We were at 36,001. We are now at 35,000. Oh, it does that when it stops. You got to go back and forth. So yeah, we dropped about 800 on the overall AI. The AI interference looks like we dropped about 500 points. And the AI training, I don't know, that's minuscule. That could be just an error. That's like less than 200. So, and Blender is minuscule, 1 point. You know, that could just be error. That, you know, I wouldn't even count that one. It looks like the biggest one that had a hit though was the AI interference, which was about 500 points difference. So let's go ahead. Let's turn the machine off. Let's do 64 gigs of RAM now. We had 128, so now let's do 64. Let's see here. Let me catch up on the chat here. Wonder what Flux would pay for the same setup. Yeah, not sure. That's the thing is now Flux did say though in there when we were doing that live stream that they will be taking a fee, just like VAS does. But they did say that the fee would be much less. So that's interesting. So I'm gonna guess it's probably between 10 and 15%, somewhere in there. I mean, there has to be a fee collected to keep, obviously, like keep all the development and everybody on the platform and keep all the maintenance going for like servers and things like that. You're building my NE to gaming PC X570, 5700G, 6900C, 64 gigs of RAM. I mean, if you guys want to see my gaming PC, I'll show you my gaming PC. I'll show you just a little peek over here. My desk is super messy right now. Not messy like Panda's, but that is the Mining King PC. It's all hardline. It's definitely not super easy. Is it booted up yet? We got it. Got her back in. All right. Better load up here. I paid way too much money for it though. That is for sure. So once again, it does think that we have 4 sticks of memory in here, but we don't. Now I am curious though. I want to see if that other button works. I want to do this. Are you sure you want to rescan the hardware? Yes. Oh, and it actually kept my name this time. Interesting. The last time I did a reboot, it didn't keep my name, right? Remember, it went back to the Ubuntu whatever. This time, it actually kept my name. So, interesting. Okay, now let's go back to our, oh, there it is, Ubuntu 20.04. I'm not even going to bother changing the name. Okay, so now we're down to 2 memory DIMMs now. We're at 32 gigs of RAM. So let's go ahead and let's go back to our benchmark and crank her on. Maybe you refresh too fast. Yeah. No, mate. I mean, I think it's still You go to home and then machines. We'll go back out. See? Then I always have to change this. Every time the machine goes off and on, I have to rechange it. See? It's a database thing. So now, interesting though, we're at 64 gigs of RAM right here, but the memory usage is still roughly in the 1% area. So I'm expecting this to go, oh, there we go. Now we hit the 2% area. So we've seen a little bit of an increase of RAM here. I wonder what happens when we cut it in half on the next one. So we're just going to hang out, guys, while we wait for this benchmark to finish. If you guys got questions about Fluxcore or anything like that, let me know. You know, I guess now, oh, I did just do, let me share another screen. I'm going to put this over here. If I can present share screen. There we go. All right. Could you run the Flux Benchcore on a mining rig? Yes, you can. If it's NVIDIA. If you don't have NVIDIA, I'm told it just runs on the GPU or on the CPU, from what I was told. So I'm at nice hash right now, and this dude, this thing was way up there. This thing was like at like $47 at one point. So you guys are probably wondering what this little rig is here. You see it says K heavy hash, right? I just put it on not that long ago. So I put my KS1 on NiceHash to do direct Bitcoin, because Bitcoin right now is extremely expensive to move around. And I promised myself, because I bought the machine with Bitcoin, that I would pay myself back, right? I always try to do that whenever I'm doing the mining stuff. I always try to hold myself accountable and make sure I'm paying myself back for the equipment, because a lot of times people just like let things go and they just don't care if it's ever paid back. But I want the machine to pay me back, and then I want to see how much did I actually profit from the machine, right? So, Mighty King, is it possible to run the Docker in Hybo S? From what I know, well, one, it's not Docker. Number one, this isn't Docker. It's Kubernetes. From what I know, Kaiser, it's not Docker. From what I know, I don't think they have official HiveOS support for the Fluxcore yet. I'm sure you could do it. You would probably just have to install a bunch of dependencies manually, though. So I'm sure you would have to do that. It's here. Keith Bet says, yeah, no problem, Kaiser, man. I'm just trying to answer your question. Sure, bro, I just built my Fluxcore gaming PC, ASRock X399, 96 gigs of RAM, and a terminal case to hold, dang, 8 hard drives. Whew, man, that's a lot of rust. Two M.2s. You still got a DVD burner, man? People still use those things? I have not used one of those in a very long time. I hate CPU mining with Threadrippers. Really? Man, everybody who owns Threadrippers like it. Actually, that 5900X behind me right there is also going to be going on my NiceHash. There's a couple things I'm going to be putting on NiceHash. My Bitcoin bag is low, pretty low, like a couple $100. And unless I get my money back from this Caspa thing, right? So I kind of want to build up my Bitcoin bag, and what better way than to just mine an ice hash and just get paid out in Bitcoin, right? I don't need to trade it. I don't have to convert it. They'll just pay me out in the Bitcoin. Well, I mean, like, look, like these workstations come with DVD burners, but I just chuck them in the garbage. I don't even use them. I just throw them in the garbage. So yeah, I put the KS1 on NiceHash tonight, and it's been doing pretty solid. He's been doing pretty good. Now I want to remove the Luxor from my S19 down in Kansas, because I did find an issue with Luxor, at least for me. It's not maybe for everybody else. I just found that I get lots of invalid shares on NiceHash with my Luxor or LuxOS firmware. Brains doesn't do that to me. It reports just fine and gets what it's supposed to. Now, when I mine to the LuxOS pool, it does just fine, right? But if I want to mine to NiceHash, it like gives me lots of invalids, like tons of them, to where the hash rate isn't like really what the machine should be, and it's just wasting energy at that point. Plus, I want to do the numbers. I want to sit down with Iowa Crypto Mining and do a spreadsheet on the 2 to like 3% dev fees on these firmwares versus the extra efficiency, right? Is the price of the dev fee worth the extra efficiency from these firmwares, or is it just a complete wash? If you're paying, because you're paying like 4% to the pool, you pay another 2 to 3% for the dev fee, so you're losing 7% of your mining, right, to become more efficient. So would it just be better to run it just at regular full tilt than to run the firmwares? Yep, Kaiser, it's definitely, and this is kind of why I want to get into Bitcoin. I'm a very low risk person, so I like to DCA out. I don't want to wait to the top. I don't want to sell at the bottom. I want to sell every week, and this way I kind of DCA out of it, right? Dollar cost average out. So that's kind of my thing. But let's go ahead. Let's see if that benchmark is done. Let's see what's going on here. No, we are just now on the AI section, which it looks like we're hitting the 3% usage on the RAM now. So the RAM usage is, she is getting up there more and more as we're over 3% now. Before at 256, it was like 0.8 or something like that. So as we take away RAM, the memory usage is definitely climbing higher and higher. So it'll be interesting how this affects our scores in the Fluxcore benchmark. Yo, what's going on, Craig? How you been, man? Also, on another side note, Mining King is going to CES in Vegas this coming January, and so is the entire Terra team. We will all be going to CES in Vegas. So pretty exciting, because I've never been to Vegas ever. Hey, what's going on, DJ Raid? I waited for him to like stop streaming for forever. I was trying to just wait, but I was just like, I didn't know when he was gonna stop. So thank you, DJ, for the raid, man. Appreciate it. He's always helping out. And then, yeah, of course, Iowa comes in. You know, he's not watching, of course. He's a bad friend. Thank you, Mr. DJ. I appreciate the raid, man. Thanks for hanging out. Everybody's joining us. Let me bring up my screen real quick up here again, because I'm not sharing it. It has changed. we are benchmarking different amounts of memory for our Fluxcore right now. So we started with 256, we ran the test, we dropped it down to 128, we ran the tests, and now we're at 64 gigs running the test. Hey, what's up, Frank? How are you, man? Mr. Frank here. How you doing? Well, so far it has minutely dropped our score just a little bit in some areas, right? It could also be like, I know we're supposed to do like 3 to 5 pulls, right, of testing, but each test is like 11 minutes long. So I would literally be here for like 8 hours testing this live. So I'm not going to do that. I will do more thorough testing on the, off camera, and do that and keep record of it. So appreciate you, DJ, for raiding us, Mr. DJ Minds. Hey, what's up, Crypto Mikkel? How you doing, man? All right, we are on the blender benchmark, so we're almost done there. So we are almost hitting 4% on the memory, which is way more than the 128 or the 256. And I'm curious to see, let's go to the benchmarking area real quick. We can actually go over here. We can see our scores. So the score did drop again. It's at 3517 is our score right here. So it is incrementally slightly dropping ever so much. So right here, this was 256 on this test. This is 128. And this is our current score at 64 gigs. And the test has stopped. So we've dropped a total of 1,000 points between 256 and 64 gigs of RAM. But let's go to the individual testing. So on the AI interference, it looks like we started with 16,644. And now, see, this is what I'm saying. There's discrepancies in the testing, right? Because look, this is 16,117 on 128. This testing here is 16,126. So I'm not sure. And I am rescanning the hardware every time I reboot to make sure that the system knows how much memory is in it, right? Now, it looks like the biggest one that we dumped on is going to be the AI training. We were at 19,357 to start, and now we've dropped all the way down to 18,891. So we've dropped about 500 points in score between 256, 128, and 64 gigs of RAM. So, and our blender score is, this is where some of the testing doesn't make sense to me. But then again, I'm not an AI expert, but I just want to see what numbers are, right? So here we are. We're at 1694 when we first started at 256. 128, we dropped 1 point. Okay, no big deal. We got a higher score with 64 gigs of RAM than we did with 256. But this is probably minuscule. This is within a reason of error, right? If you probably did 3 tests, these numbers probably wouldn't change, right? Now this AI training score is a big difference, right? It's like 500 points. So that doesn't surprise me. We're going to turn it off again. We're going to unseat some RAM, lower it down from 64 to 32 gigs of memory. So they're not going to support Intel because they don't know what Intel's doing GPUs. Now you can mine with all that stuff, I believe, but I don't know if mining with Intel works. I know AMD does, Miguel. But I could test it though, because I do have an Intel A750. I could go get the card here toward the end of the stream and test to, well, no, because it installs NVIDIA drivers. That'll be interesting. I don't think it's going to work because you would have to manually uninstall the NVIDIA drivers and then manually install the Linux Intel drivers to get it to work. I don't think I'm ready for that tonight. You know, I'm finding that RAM is helping a little bit, but yes, you know, latency, the cast latency, maybe the timings on the memory, maybe it could matter, right? You know, this is all server memory, so it's all pretty low speed. It's like 2133, so it's like it's just the low bin DDR4 memory here. This nothing crazy, right? Here, KiiNG. Oh, Amplifier Gaming. KiiNG is the proof of works for. No, it is not live yet, Mr. Amplifier Gaming. It won't be live for some time. Definitely try it out, Mikkel. I think you may have to manually install the drivers though for Intel in Linux. No, so your Mr. Crypto Frank asks, you think your BIOS is changing the memory speed when you change it from 64 to 256? No, because that's the rated speed of the sticks is 2133. So it is reporting the correct speed. Most memory core servers is much slower than consumer grade hardware, but I mean, you can get high speed server memory, but it's just really expensive. I'm using the 2133 because I tore apart that prototype Flux server that was a pile of garbage, and I'm using that memory because it's free, right? So gotta use parts where we can get them. Okay, it says it's back on, so let's go ahead and let's reload our page here. Come back to our overview, and I'm just going to make sure that this button is still working. Nice. Yeah, PB Conf Geek. Yeah, it is just the base DDR4 speed, but hey, it's cheap, man. Yeah, and I'm also on a V3, and Black Sails does make a good point. I didn't even bring that up. Is the V3s only support X amount of speed, right? They can't get any higher than that anyway. So we're not running any epics here. I have a well, I guess for the people who just joined us, this is on a. Oh, that's right. I already did the rescan of the hardware. So we started with 256 gigs of RAM. We're down to one single 32 gig stick. And then I'm gonna start breaking out the 4 gig sticks, right? For 16, 8, and 4. I have an E5 2698 V3. It's 16 cores and 32 threads with a 2 terabyte Samsung 970 Evo NVMe from your boy Brandon Coin. And then I have a 3080 in there. And obviously I'm on Ubuntu, and I'm using a Dell motherboard because it is a workstation. And let's go ahead and let's see if the benchmark works from here. All tests, and let's run the benchmark. Oh, we don't even have to go to that page. That is super nice and clean. I like that. All right. I'm curious though. Now we dropped it in half again. We went from 64 down to 32. What's it going to be? DJ, so far, proof of useful work is not active at all. This is just benchmarking, kind of seeing how the platform does. You can use it for mining. Mining is supported here, right? You can click this little pickaxe here and start mining. And the cool thing is though, is what's kind of nice is though, is you can set different overclocking for different GPUs to mine different coins very, very easily instead of doing the extra config arguments like you would in Hive OS, which some people get a little tripped up on, right? Because you have to go look up, Team Red Miner's freaking config sheet. Okay, this is how you set up the configs for these cards to mine this. This one here, you can just pick what GPU you want to mine whatever coin you want. So it is much, much nicer, as well as they do have, like I said, a what to mine calculator on here. Now, this doesn't pull data from Hive OS, it pulls data from what to mine. So you can see, like, if you have 13080 at 220 mega hashes at 220 watts and 10 cents, I think your revenue for the day was it 2 cents is what you're making the whole day. So then you could change the coin too. You can say, hey, I want to mine a lithium. Okay, you should be getting 1.9 souls at 180 watts is the general overclock. And we're going to hit calculate. Okay, we're losing money here. Not good. Don't mine a lithium. Conflux. We should be getting about 77 mega hashes at 250 at 10 cents. Hey, we're making money. It's saying here that you should be making 5 cents an hour. Pretty good. So kind of nice to have an on-site, all-in-one place to do your mining calculations. Now, I would be interested though, like, how accurate is that though? Is that actually accurate data? Do you actually have overclocking working? Yeah, the overclocking works for the most part. It works. So I'll get into that at the end though. Oh man, we're up to like 6% now on the RAM usage. RAM usage is definitely climbing up on this thing. Oh man, thank you, GPU risers, man. Look at this guy. Venti Ice White Mocha, blonde shots, no whip. See, he's hung out with me too much when we go on trips that when I go to Starbucks, he knows my coffee I drink, man. He knows it, Mike. I am starting to make it at home though. I did go buy some Starbucks espresso beans and I bought some white mocha stuff, so I'm making it at home again because they just upped the prices and it's like $7.08 for my coffee. And I'm like, this is disgusting. I can't keep paying this. So. All right, let's see here. So overclocking. Yeah. I don't want to click on it and get it going because I felt like the last time I did overclocking, I thought that it affected the GPU a little bit. So I want this to be no overclocking profiles enabled. So I'll get into the overclocking at the end. When using Windows 11, you need to go into the command prompt and put the command directly through for MSI Afterburner to run as administrator. Yes, so I'm running this in Linux, so you will have different configurations for Windows. If you're doing this on Windows 10, you need to use Windows 10 Pro and be on the most current package for Windows 10 Pro to make it as easy as possible. You still might trip up with the WSL, which I think you can usually fix that with if you go in the PowerShell and do was it WSL space -- install, it'll fix WSL for you. And then if you're doing Windows 11, it should just work out of the box, but always be updated on your packages. So it says $7. I once worked for $7 an hour. Yeah, man, I used to work when I was young, does Flux pay you for this testing? No, they do not. There's no money to be made here. This is just me making content. I'm just doing some testing. I'm going to test some RAM out. maybe next weekend I'll try to get some thermal paste, and I will try to do a I'll try to do like CPU testing, right? And we could test out like maybe 5, different Xeons or something like that. I wish they paid me for this. That'd be awesome. That would be great. You guys have any questions about, you don't have to even ask me questions about Fluxcore. If you guys want questions about mining, I was just talking about, I moved everything over to NiceHash right now. I moved everything over here, and I'm just converting everything to Bitcoin because I want to build my bags. And I did just build a CPU mining rig right there, which will be going on tomorrow. And then I have another one I'm building, which maybe I'll do a live stream tomorrow in the evening, after work and stuff. I'll do a live CPU mining rig build. I'm building. I got these 2U servers. Oh, I guess. So these are similar to what I built over in So I'm using some 2U servers, some blank servers from, it's not StarTech, that Amazon brand. It's another one. I think it's called Rack Choice. Maybe that's it. Anyways, it's like, I think it was like $100 for that 2U server. You can either do MITX or, micro ATX. Was Ubuntu better or Windows 11? I don't run any Windows 11 except on my Microsoft Surface for work-related Terra stuff when I'm on the road. So I haven't tested any Windows. If I can run Linux, I will run Linux because it's far more stable, at least for me. I bet you, I know why that probably is, Mr. PB Comp Geek, is the fees on Bitcoin right now are stupid ridiculous. I was trying to move $80 yesterday, right at the beginning of the day. It was $27 to move it, okay? I waited till the end of the day yesterday to look again. It was down to $4, right? I'm like, okay, I can live with $4, right? A little too high still, but you know what? I don't care. I'll move it anyways, right? Guess what? It's still hasn't even went through because there's so much congestion right now. It's saying it's going to be another day and 13 hours before it gets one confirmation. It is so bad right now on the Bitcoin network. Yeah. So me and Depran like that because right now my S19K is just like dominating right now. My S19Ks are just loving this right now, making all this extra Bitcoin. So you're way too fast for you has a question here. This question for you and everyone else here. Do you think doing anything for buying crypto for your kids instead of putting money into stocks and other funds? I am thinking of putting Bitcoin or other top 10 coins. So my financial situation is different than most people. My kids are in a way more better off than I was. They have a college fund that was passed down to me, that I passed down to them. And when they hit 18, they will be able to go to any school they want on the planet. So I'm not going to do that. All the Bitcoin for me, they got a college fund. They're fine. Make your own damn money. Look, Iowa's son even has a Bitcoin ASIC. So my oldest son, I tried to get him into crypto mining, and he kind of didn't like it, right? But my youngest son today, after watching the movie, we were just watching the new Godzilla movie, right? I can't remember. I don't even know if it's new. It's like Godzilla 1 or something like that. My younger son, he's like about to turn 11. He's like, "Dad, I want you to teach me about crypto mining. I want to be a miner." I'm like, "Okay, get ready for this." So tomorrow, after he gets home from school, because tomorrow is like an early release day, we're gonna sit down and now I'll build him a little 1 card rig and get him kind of used to it, you know what I mean, and let him play with it, and check it out. Right now, I am trying to build some Bitcoin. Ooh, man, I seen that was like at 8 or 9% up there. Okay, so we're definitely using a lot more RAM. Okay, now we're on Blender. Let's go see what our scores are. You can see the scores of each test as it's doing it. Okay, so we were right here at 36,001, right? That was our first test. Then we went 35,288, and then we did 35, and then we did 35,017. And look, we've dropped all the way down to 34,000 now. We have dropped almost 2,000 points in score based upon the amount of RAM that we've been, deducting from the system, right? Now, what does that score translate to? I don't know. Is 2,000 a lot of points? It seems like a lot of points, but maybe it's not, right? So we got 34,210 on this last poll overall. Our AI interference is 15,364. So we finally dropped down to 15,000. We were always at around 16,000. This is our first poll at 16,644, and our current poll is 15,100 or 15,364. So that's about a 1,300 point difference between 256 gigs of RAM and 32 gigs of RAM, right? So not a huge loss here. I think the AI training is going to be a big dip, though. So we were at 19,357 when we first started, and now we're down to 18,846. So actually, we dipped more in the other AI interface level this time than we did in the training. Lately, it's been the training. We've been dropping off, a couple hundred points every time we take some off. But this time, it only went down by 50. So it'll be interesting to see if we drop down to 16, how much does each of these drop off, right? Now, Blender is it's still at 16. It's still at 1619. It's just like, I don't care. So obviously this gives no F's about RAM so far. Let's go ahead and turn it off. Now I have to go populate this thing with more DIMMs, but obviously lower quality DIMMs here. So we want 16 in there. Let's see if I can't find all of the same manufacturer. If I have it, that's Samsung. It's another Sky Hynix. So that's 4812. Samsung Sky. Okay. So all right. Put that boot up for a minute. Kingsmans are going to get a vast type guide for the Ubuntu install of Fluxcore. I am working on it, but the issue is every time I've installed Fluxcore, because this is an alpha, I've run into different problems after a couple of tries, right? I did 2 installs. I'm like, okay, same issues every time, no problem. I'll make a guide how to fix it. Third time came up, completely different problem. So then obviously I have to do a new fix. So I'm going to do a couple more tries, and if the same couple of problems persist, I will put the fixes in the video for those problems. But the only issue I'm going to have, though, is trying to recreate those issues at least once, so that way I can put it on camera, right? It's going to be kind of hard. But I might do a paper guide, like a Google Doc. That way I don't have to do that. So, yes, there will be a guide for you members. Here, let's go to our hardware here. Get another rescan our hardware. Hey, what's up, all set? So you're, Travels. Actually, my youngest son is a junior. He is named after me. So yes, he is a KiiNG Junior. So let's go over to our hardware here. Make sure it's reporting correctly. So we have four 4 gig sticks because we went from 32 down to 16 gigs of RAM. Oh, what? I have an 8 gig stick in here? Oh, God dang it. Now I got to go change it now. If I even have another 4. Here we go. I got it. I didn't even know. I thought these were all 4 gig sticks. Well, I thought these were all 4 gig sticks. Like I missed one. Put these all back in the tray here. Wait for this thing to post really quick. Let's see here. Let's see what you guys are saying. The mining prince. Oh man. Maybe. My oldest son thought this was like gonna print money and like give him like extra allowance. And then when I showed him how much he was gonna make off of 1570, he said, screw it. Uh-oh. Might have a bad stick of RAM here. It did not like that stick of RAM. Okay. That was really weird. I'll test this again. That could have just been a seating issue, so I'll put this one in the front. There is a couple of bad sticks that I got. All of these 4 gig sticks, which I have like a whole bunch of these, I got them from the workstations I bought because that's just what they come with, right? They come with a bunch of 4 gigs. Hail to the King Bassett. There you go. 2 eyes in Prince. There you go. And yes, that was weird that this was reporting at 2400. Let's see here. Let me see here. E5 2698 V3. This one, let's see what it can support on memory wise, right? It can support 2133. Interesting though, but it did catch that the 8 gig was a higher speed though. I wonder if it just pulls that data from the RAM stick itself, like, but it's not actually operating at that speed, right? Because obviously there's no support for it. So, and you can see the PCIe lanes is 40. All right, forgot to hit F1. KiiNG, does Flux have a big future? Ask, reclaim your health, Mayor. I think so. What they're doing is something that hasn't been done, right? Where they could actually they could theoretically combine all of our compute together as a whole, right? As like everybody under Flux and offer that as compute, which I know that Dynex offers that as well, but this is a different type of compute. But yes, the reason I think that they have a big future, if they are successful, is because so many people spend hundreds, tens, and hundreds of thousands of dollars at AWS for compute. There are, to rent servers that do like really serious compute could cost you like $2,000, $10,000, $20,000 a month or more, hundreds of thousands of dollars, which they could offer this at a fraction of the price. So I think it's going to be a huge market disruptor. And I'm sure it's going to be like anything that's new, right? Companies will be skeptical. They will, maybe not, adopt early. You know what I mean? So adoption will be a very big key factor. Let's go ahead. We're going to run our hardware scan again. Get rid of that 8 gigger over there. I've been going for an hour and a half. This is going to be like a 2.5 hour stream. This is going to be so long. I have to wait for all these benchmark results here. All right. Make sure that we got it. We got 4 giggers in there. There we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and let's start this bad thing right here. What's weird is sometimes this comes up and doesn't go away. It went away that time. Okay, at 16%, the tests haven't even started and we're already at 3% on 16 gigs of RAM. I mean, this is probably, I'm going to assume, get up into maybe the 15% range. I'm going to say somewhere between 10 and 15% it's going to use. Now, according to what Flux recommends, right, I believe it was triple the amount of VRAM. And right now we are well below that score, right? We are like not even 1.5. We're like 1.5. We're like 1.5 times the amount of RAM over the VRAM because it's a 3080. 3080s have 10 gigs of VRAM. So, currently right now we're not taking on anyone at this current point in time. Not yet. We're not ready to open the doors or anything like that, Craig. We plan on doing that in, probably start of the year. Was it 4 times reclaim? Was it 4 times the amount of RAM? Okay. So right now we are well below that mark. We're at about 1.5 times the amount of VRAM. So we're well under that, and we can kind of see some of the scores are going down. But yeah, Crypto Craig, we will eventually offer hosting to the public. I'm not sure at our prices it would make sense for people to send us like a 1 GPU rig. So we still have to work out the finer details on that. So, well, I was right. We're already at 11% and this test just started. So it looks like we're floating around the 10 to 12% mark. Oh, there we go. We're at 12.6. Oh, almost went up to 13. Well, it's getting there. 12.9. And it dropped down. So probably somewhere around the 13% mark. What are you guys most interested in for this Fluxcore they just released, man? This stuff is awesome. I just want to test and just see how things affect the numbers, right? Like, obviously we see improvements in the memory a little bit, not a huge amount, but somewhat. But yeah, I just want to test just to see where we are. Like the next testing I'm going to do, hopefully next weekend, will be like, I'm going to try all different types of Xeons. Like this thing has 16 cores and 32 threads. What if I dropped it down to like 8 cores and 16 threads, right? And then down to 4 cores and 8 threads, and then down to a 4-core 4 thread, right? How will the performance be affected, right? How will our benchmarking be affected then? So I'm a nerd, man. I love doing this stuff. And right now it's starting to leak over into my Counter-Strike time. Guys, are they playing Counter-Strike tonight or are they playing Civ? I see them in there right now. What are they playing? Oh, I see, Obvious and Panda over there. I'm interested in being in part of a network that screws Google and Amazon. I mean, they are the tech giants of the world. They do control a lot of that sector, mainly because it costs billions of dollars, right? It costs so much money to stand a data center up, so much infrastructure between all the fiber and networking and power and cooling and all that other stuff, personnel to run all of it and everything like that, security, and it costs a lot of money, which only leaves it for the very, very big companies. But temps are doing pretty good. 60, we're mid 60s on the GPU, so we're not taxing it too hard. even though it says 100% load. I do want to test that because somebody said that the load wasn't 100%. I'll have to pull up like maybe BPY top or H top one of these times when I'm testing that. Reclaim. Are you Dan Keller in disguise here? We are standing a network bit by bit, and we'll take the power back. No pun intended. Oh man. Oh man. Yeah, I mean it's great to be on this cutting edge of technology and seeing the growth. You know what I mean? They've been talking about this for I don't know what, like 2 years. Has it been that long? It's been at least a year, right? Since they started doing this. So really cool to see something finally come together and finally come out. It's not a finished product, but it's something for people to play around with, right? To see the direction that the company is going, right? You know, and if maybe get feedback from everyone, maybe things they can improve on. Like I told them, I was like, hey, I would love to see the memory temperatures in the temperature section, right? Because maybe, hey, my memory is thermal throttling. So I would like to know that. Etika. I did try some to mine Etika with my iPolo, but it didn't like it because it comes back as another algorithm. Travelers Travels, they do have dark mode, but they just haven't given it to us yet. They gave you the nice burning white to make sure it burns into your retinas. Oh boy, here we go at 13%. We're almost done here. Then we can move on to 8 gigs of RAM. It gets really interesting when you get down to the single digit numbers of RAM. Oh, and for people that joined in, man, if you're not a KiiNG member, you missed out today. If you're not a KiiNG, gave away a free Ellie Pal to Nate G. And then I gave away a 12-pack of riser shields to Mr. Automatic Beats. How is that dual epic beast doing? Oh man. Which 8 gigs of RAMs are using? 8 gig is usually a single channel memory RAM, where 16 and above is dual channel. These are 4 gig sticks, Mr. Goats. So the 8 gig will be, yeah, it's gonna be on a single channel, but automatic beats. Yeah, and I don't know if that's gonna be playing into this either. But there's Xeons, so like I wouldn't think that Xeons would benefit from dual or single channel. That really only plays into Ryzen though. Okay, all right. If you want to get technical, Chuck Danger did win, but he did give it up. He gave it away to somebody else. All right, Chuck, he gave it away. All right. What's the leaderboard look like? Okay, yeah, let's go take a leaderboard. I mean, dude, the 4090 guys are just like dominating there. I was like number 7. Now I'm like in the hundreds now. So they've gotten a total of about almost 1,400 GPUs, 7,800 benchmarks. Pretty cool, man. It's only released Friday too, and like I said, this is an alpha, so kind of cool to see. It's going to give them a lot of data. Looks like number one is Sys16, and you can click on this guy and he'll tell you all about him here. It looks like he's up and down. Let's see here. We have a 30. Oh, really? Who had a 4090? Is it this guy? 3090 Ti. Somebody had a 4090. Why is the 4090 not up top? There it is. So he has dual 4090s. But okay. I wonder what, and this is on a WR. Yeah, so it's on a Threadripper, so it should have. If that's a first gen Threadripper though, that's only Gen 3. And oh, it's not. It's a 5975. So it's not a. It's not. Yeah. I'm surprised that Threadripper didn't get higher. 3090 Ti guy right here. No. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? It's a 16. 13090 Ti with a total of 96 gigs of RAM. Crazy. 7950X 3D. 2 terabyte NVMe. 3090 Ti. That's such a big card, dude. That card's nuts. He's number one, Sys16. This is who you guys got to beat right here. That's the guy you got to beat. Now, beware, if you guys don't want your location shared, it does give a general location of the geolocation. So, for all those people worried about people finding them. Oh, man. I was waiting for you, Mr. Vistang. Mr. GPU Risers is going to want to take first place with his epic and dual 4090s. I want to see you crush the competition. Let's see it, Mr. GPU Risers. Do you know how accurate the flux sets are on hardware, and have you compared the power draw to a meter or reference the hardware usage in Linux? No and no. More testing needs to be done. More testing. More testing needs to be done. We've only just started. This thing's only been out since Friday, right? Friday morning at midnight. So we're done running. Okay, now see, this is the inconsistency I'm telling you about. Okay, now look, we went down to a single 32 gig stick, whereas now we're using the dual channel 16 gigs, which I could repopulate this back with a bunch of 4 gig sticks and make it 32 to make it dual channel. But maybe there is a performance hit being on single channel, because this last score was on a single 32 gig stick. Was 34210. And now our score is 3185, which is weird, right? Because look, this is 256, this is 128, 64, 32, and then this brings it back up to 35, 187, which this is in the range of 128. So it could very well be that having your memory in dual channel is key. Because if you look at the score right here, there's not a big score difference between 128 and the 16 gigs, right? I mean, look at it. It's like 100 points. It's like nothing. So see, this is why we test. So it's looking more like it could be actual channels that make more of a difference, right? Because look, we dipped down. Let me just go back here to my first test. We're down right here on this line. Okay. So our first test for AI training was right there, right here at 19,357. We kept dipping down. But look, we're back up to 19305. We're all the way back up here to where we're back in dual channel, right? These two are single channels. This is two 32 gig sticks and a single 32 gig stick, right? So you do see a performance hit in single channel modes. Interesting. What about Blender? Blender is the highest score we've had. This is 256 right here at 1619.4. This is 162019. Makes no sense to me. So that makes no sense. So let's go ahead, shut her down, do 8 gigs. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, now we're going to go back to single channel, 8 gig. And I wonder how the performance hit's going to be. Oh, all you guys crying about the dark mode. Come on now. You guys are doing just fine. You guys have been hanging out this long. You guys will make it. You'll make it. I'm already up way too late. Y'all have a good night. Thanks for the stream. Hey, later, Aragon Shredder. Appreciate it, man. And Alex Fleener says that dark mode extension doesn't work, so get wrecked. I just wear sunglasses while I use the computer. Okay, so let's just do a refresh real quick. Make sure she's back up. We're gonna click out of this thing. We're gonna rescan our hardware again. So that's interesting that we only took a performance hit because we went from dual channel down to single channel. It wasn't the amount of RAM that was causing it. It was just the configuration of the RAM, right? So super interesting. Here's, let's make sure we got 2 sticks in there. What we got. Let's go ahead and I like to test all these buttons. I like to test everything. Test this guy out. Then we'll start. Might see a little lag here. It's going to benchmark me here. But, man, boy. You guys got any questions for me about mining, about Fluxcore, whatever you guys want, man? Maybe some content you guys want to see, let me know. I'm just kind of hanging out for right now. Trying to get these tests all done. Click all the things. Yeah, man, you got to click everything. I want to test everything. I want to see how it works. You know? I didn't know this other thing here where it's like this will show you the leaderboard of like your last scores you got, right? Kind of here. For each one. I thought that was kind of neat. So it makes zero monies. It makes zero monies, Gordon Murray. He was asking that. It makes zero dineros. Zeros. No el money-o. Just strictly for testing and for my entertainment. That's what it's doing. That's all she's here for. Oh, All set, all set. Here we go. He's asking the tough one. I know some of you guys are from DJ stream, so let me stop sharing this screen, and I'll do this one. While that benchmark is running, we'll let her go run around a little bit. I am now dashboard. There we go. I put this, as you see here, this says unmanaged. I didn't give it a name. DK heavy hash though. See the 1 tera hash right there. I have it on nice hash. So right now collectively, my rigs are doing between like 30 and like 47 because it goes up and down and all that stuff. But this is what my S19K 115 is making, my 104, and the KS1. My other S19K 120 is on Luxor pool for the time being. So yeah, my deal is I bought the unit with Bitcoin, right? I want to pay the unit. I want to pay myself back in Bitcoin. That was my deal. If I took the Bitcoin out, if I took it out, I have to pay myself back. Which it's hard to hold yourself accountable sometimes because you're like, yeah, you know, I can go buy me another ASIC for $2,000, you know, or whatever. Where was the link for the online benchmark results? Oh, okay. I have to reshare the other screen. We can certainly go there. We're here. And here is the leaderboard. If you want to go check it out, I just put it in the chat. I got a question. Can I use a Bitmain PSU along with an ATX PSU to power my 12 GPU rig? I mean, you could. But why do you want to use the Bitmain PSU? Why do people like using those things? I hate those things. I mean, you might as well just get a HP server power supply and just get a breakout board, right? I mean, at that rate. If you want some good cables though, I do know that Mr. TVM makes cables for those conversions of like those older Bitmain PSUs over from, because I know you had to like screw the actual cable in, right, with like an actual Phillips screw over to a 6+2 pin. I know he sells sets of those cables. I am not top 10 anymore. Second CL. I mean, look, man. I'm like in 100th. Look, 107, 126, 150, 165. Mining King is not breaking any records. Now, I could throw my 3090 in there, and yeah, that's going to push me up the leaderboard a little bit, but Traveler Shovels, I only mind a nice hash to play catch a block. Oh man, I don't gamble it. Nope, no thanks, man. I'm not really a gambler. I don't really like it. It's not my thing. Not my thing. Ooh, look at that RAM usage now. We are on 8 gigs of RAM now. Hitting the 25% mark now in usage as we run this AI benchmark. Yeah, I mean, hey, we're almost done. I'm going to be down to 4 gigs of RAM before the stream's over. Yeah, you know what? Sending BTC might be the worst, but hey, if you're mining BTC with some S19s right now, you are loving what you're making right now. It is extremely profitable to mine with your S19s right now. It is amazing. Threadripper Pro incoming. No, I'm really not a Threadripper guy. I'd rather just have the Epic. I mean, it's like you either do consumer or go all the way. Second TL. Going to put those A5000s on Fluxcore. Yeah. Want to see that, you know. Okay, so oh, Vistang, there is a catch. There is a catch. The test, from what I know, is inaccurate for multi GPUs unless there was a fix. I don't know if there's been a fix, so I can't answer that. But from what I know, it's single GPU testing only. Hey, yeah, when we all go to CES, when Tara goes to CES, I'm going to buy a Ryzen CPU, okay, like a 5800X 3D, and I'm going to put it in my pocket, right, with a Sharpie, and I'm going to pray that I just bump into Lisa Sue and she can sign my CPU for me. Ooh, man, look at that. We're hitting 30% on the memory load now. Ooh, man, we're getting up there. 30%. 32. Well, if this test shows anything, I think we'll be at like 70 or 80% with 4 gigs of RAM. No way, man. No way, Travelers Travel. I would never mind with that. $2. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Second TL mining. Appreciate it, good sir. The $2 super chat for the Threadripper Pro Fund. I don't even know what they cost, but we got a long way to go. Yep, it's probably true, Boinker, but you know what, man? I'm just playing around, man. I'm bored. I figured I'd stream with you guys tonight. You guys can, we can just hang out and bullshit, and I'm just running some benchmarks, you know. Lisa Sue could sign my forehead. Oh, man. Speaking of which, did anybody watch Panda's stream today? He got a very special limited edition 1 of 1 Mining King limited edition signed 6600 XT. Mr. Panda has a signed Mining King AMD GPU. You know, I heard that thing gets, I heard it gets like 45% more hash rate. I put a special BIOS on it. Actually, when you plug it in, Panda, it takes 40%. It's a 40% dev fee on the mining on the card, so it sends it to me. KiiNG, they're all Ryzen i9. Don't waste your time with Xeons. Why not waste your time with Xeons? You realize that desktop consumer grade boards like Ryzen and the Intels only have like 20 to 28 lanes of PCIe connectivity. These old Xeons have 40. So I can do 2 at 16. Oh man. The K10 can do a lithium now. What the heck's the K10? Is that like a new miner, Panda? What's that about? %40 diffy. I'm shipping it back. Oh man. A super scalar K10. What the hell is that? never even heard of that. Super. What was it? An FPGA super scalar A10. I'm assuming it's an FPGA. Okay, it's it's an FPGA in an ASIC box. It does a lithium. Oh, it does radiant, ironfish. Ooh, man, look at that thing. And I say, hey, this isn't real. I don't believe this until you send me this unit. Okay, I got to do the panda speech right here. Okay, this thing is fake. This thing is fake until I get one in my hands and I physically test it. Otherwise, this thing's a scam. All right. Please send me one. So where do you click on it, but I don't see how you buy it. Where do you buy that from? I don't see this anywhere. Superscaler will also update to the newest FPGA bitstream for free. I don't. Where do you buy it? It says it's on sale, but there's nowhere to buy it from. What, do you have to email these guys directly or something? Yes, Mike. Passed the vibe check. Where do I wire? You like my little panda speech right there? People are still doing a Leo, huh? Really? What's this? What's the K11? Is that just like a step up from the K10? Oh, that thing's even bigger, man. Look at that thing. Thing's a tank, dude. Look how long that thing is. All right, let's go back here. Let's see what the other one. See how big the other one is. Well, Superscaler, your stuff's fake. I don't believe you till you send me one. Be sure to check out the Mining King. Emails contact at the Mining King. If you watch it, please send me one. Thank you. Oh my god. There we go. Here we go. Red Panda, big fan here. Big fan. Mr. GP Risers, big fan of Mr. Red Panda Mining. Okay. Let's check out our overall benchmark here. Okay. So, okay. See, now I'm baffled. I don't get this. The scoring is leaving me. I don't understand it. Okay, this is what I'm telling you. It's weird testing. Okay, look, 256 fully populated, all 8 DIMMs, right? 128, take half the DIMMs away, right? 64, another half. Then we're down to a single stick of 32 gigs, 4 gigs of 16, and then look, 2 gigs of 8. Look at the score difference. It's higher than 16. I don't understand this. But once again, we're in alpha, so I'm just taking it for a test drive. Okay. So our first score was 16,644. Our current score down the line is we're at 16,361. So it's not even that far off. And then the AI training 18,989, and we were at 19,357. And then I doubt Blender moved. Blender moved by a point. It's been up and down a point, so it's probably like that's within a reason of error, right? Not like huge. Looks like the Blender's all good to go. Last test, 4 gigs of RAM. Last test, one single stick of 4 gigs. Interesting though. Let's see. This is something that they probably haven't even implemented yet, right? So I have no idea. You know, this maybe they haven't fully. Maybe the scores aren't accurately doing anything. I have no idea why the scores are behaving this way. It's weird, right? Really, really weird. I wonder though, next weekend when I put a CPU in there, how does it react with different CPUs and different amounts of cores? How does it act then? Interesting. So, booting up right now. There we go. Get back out here, rescan the hardware. Hey, I mean, hey, free R&D for Flux right now, right? Live recorded video, you guys can rewatch it, take the test results, do what you want with it. All right, go ahead, let's run our benchmark of all tests. And it always does the speed test first. Yep, one single 4 gig stick. We haven't even started the AI yet. We're already at 13% RAM usage. This is going to get really interesting when the AI starts. Like, how much of the RAM you guys think this is going to go up? You guys think what, like 60%, 70%? Oh, she moved up a little bit more. Oh, we're up to 35. Not even a load on the GPU yet. Oh, we're about to push 40. Oh, we're over the 40% mark now. Oh, 42. Well, I appreciate everybody hanging out with me this weekend, or, well, you know, for today. There'll be another Kingsman member live stream next weekend, and who knows, maybe I might give something away that weekend as well. Oh, we're at 44%. 45. Oh, we're about to break 50. Whoa, 47. Oh man, we're about there. Oh, there it goes. 52.5. Huge jump. 53. I win, rigged. Oh man. Everyone's starting to dwindle off here. It's getting later and later at night, and I'm just doing boring memory testing. I just figured I'd just throw it on the live and let everybody watch. So it looks like if you're in 20th place, that's when the 3090s and 4090s drop off, right? Because these are all 24 gig cards. What's this guy got? X670. Okay, he's on a newer platform, 3080 Ti. He's got 64 gigs of RAM. And he has a 7900. Nice. Ooh, look at this. Can you run Fluxcore on Mac OS? It is not possible. I would be interested though with the newer Mac chips, you know, like the M2 and M3. So how they perform. Oh man, my kids are too old for that, man. But I remember the Elf on the Shelf, man. Dude, that was fun, dude. He used to hide that thing all over the place in the house. They'd sit there all day, just like in the morning, just looking for that damn thing. Some days they never found it, and that's because I never actually set it up. I would just trick them. Good way to mess with your kids. Have you had NV top or BPI top? See the stats on the front end? No, I have not, kind sir. I could put that on really quick though for you. I could put that on for you, no problem. We can get into some study here. If I remember the IP address. And do sudo pip install and BPY top. Actually, why don't we just do NV top? This is mostly NV, so. Really? Missing destination file? Really? Oh, right. Sudo app install NV top. There we go. Alrighty. I can share that screen with you guys if you guys want to check that out too. Share screen. Where's the putty window? Oh, there it is. So there she is. It's looking like it says 63% here. We were at 63% over there as well. We're using about 8.5 gigs of the VRAM right now. You can see that it's actually pegging out. See, look, it just jumped up again, like 60% or so. You can see the peaks and valleys. See, 79%. I'm curious just to see what the name of the file is. From AI Benchmark import. Okay. I just want to see what the name of the file was. And I think this is coming to an end pretty soon, so we should see Blender start up here in a minute. 220. No, I think it's hit. I think it hits it harder than that. I think I've seen it as high as like 250, 270. There we go. We just peaked at 99% there for a quick second. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, she gets up there. Yeah, I just saw 300. Yeah, she gets up there. She's pegging the rev limiter. Yeah, I think that the total test time is about, I think it's about like 11 minutes, like 10, 11 minutes. Yeah, FE, 3080 FE. Yeah, man, we only have, hey, my NVIDIA is either EVGA or Founders. I don't buy anything else. So I have a signed one of one in the whole world 3070 Ti EVGA for the Win 3 RPM edition. The starting bid is $1 million. Doing a bunch of little stutters now. Looks like little 20% jumps on there. Short little bursts. $20? No way, man. It's RPM signed. One of one in the world. All right, we're getting there. Come on, where's Blender? This is the last test. Yes, you will. You know what's weird is every time I do touch that card, I do get sick. So probably some kind of, Panda 19, on there or something like that. Crazy. Let's do sudo pip install bpy top yeah, it's not hitting the CPUs that much, about 10%. Definitely using, oh, there you go. Look at the RAM. It's up to 2.84 gigs right now. It says 76%, but it only says 55% here. I wonder if that's just the actual system, like Linux itself, right? So it's probably only accounting for the memory that it's actually using on the actual, install of the system here, not what, Linux is running, needs to run. So interesting. Oh, we're running Blender. Let's see what the NV top is really quick. Oh yeah. There we go. Dang, look at that thing, dude. Like no memory being used, but it is just pegging 90, 100%, 270, 280 right there on the GPU usage. It's just hitting that thing. Bam. It says 283.9. That's pretty close. Is 34 in the software, 18, 19. Yeah, reflecting what it's pulling from here. That was the last and final test. Okay, obviously, let me share the screen here back to the final test page so we can take a look at it really quick. Obviously, this is the worst test. We have a score of 34,000 compared to our 3601 we started with. So it is the worst by far. 1524, and we started with 16644. So not a huge drop in points there. And Blender that's just all GPU. It gives no F's about the memory. So, well, there you guys go, man. That is the that will conclude the testing right there. So I'll be interested to see what the old Flux team has to say about it. So, you know, I was thinking the same thing, Hawk. He says, "Holy crap, it's way past your bedtime." Yeah, it's like what, like midnight over there on the East Coast. Yeah, GP Risers is probably like fading away right now. Yeah. Yeah, I'll leave it at 2.5 hours. It's like another 3 minutes till I close. So if you guys got a couple more questions for 3 minutes, and then I'm out of here. I'll end it on an even 2.5 hours. That was a long. I thought this was gonna be like an hour stream, but that testing took way too long. That took way too long. It was interesting to see though what dual channel did for us though, right? Because dual channel, we lost performance with single channel, but with lower memory, we actually got that performance back. So really, so far, not, like I said, there's really not a huge gain in the memory game, except if you like do like 4 gigs of RAM, right, on a single stick. Then yeah. KiiNG, did you see? I heard he did. I still need to watch that video. I plan on watching it tonight before I go to bed. I think he did a video on that, right? So 15 megs, yeah, that's pretty big, man. When you really start getting big, like I've seen some facilities of like a couple out there of like 700 megs. Those things are nuts. Like, it is crazy. So, well, I think I'm just gonna call it, man. I'm tired. I want to go play some games. All right, if you guys want to hang out, I'll be in the Misfit Mining Discord playing some Counter-Strike, hopefully. Yeah, Texas usually has a lot of big mining facilities in their area. They're a pretty big supporter of it. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out, and be sure to check out Terra Hash Tuesday on this coming Tuesday. Later, boys.